Good morning. Welcome to Braves Country today as we get ready for a 3-game set at home against Cincinnati. And the Atlanta Braves, well, they are just sitting pretty right now compared to where we were several days ago, right? We are 2 games out of first place. We didn't make up much ground in the grand scheme of things. Actually lost a game on Philly, but we went from 2.5 out to 2 out since the last time I talked to you. Mets have fallen a half game behind Atlanta as the Phillies swept the Mets in Philadelphia. So what do we have now? We've got a 3-game set at home against the Reds. While that is going on, the Phillies are going to be at home, but they are playing the Dodgers. We'll get into that here in 1 second. And the Mets, they are at home against the lowly Nationals. Now, that is a series that Atlanta should have swept. The bullpen, Will Smith, blew the second game, a 2-0 lead in the 9th inning. You got to slam that door. You got to slam that door in August. That's all there is to it. You absolutely have to slam that door in August. He did not. And the next day, Chris Martin came out to close. So I believe that they're going to do more of a bullpen by committee, and they should have been doing this all along. And I believe Rich Rodriguez ought to get his shot as well. He pitches to contact, but he's got an incredible movement on his fastball, and it's really hard to square up. So I think that's why they're a little leery of putting him in the closing role. It would not shock me if he ends up throwing Luke Jackson out there at some point. But we've all seen how Luke Jackson crumbles under pressure. Luke Jackson is much better in the 7th inning role. I don't even think Luke Jackson realistically belongs in the 8th inning role. Anytime he has kind of wet the bed this year, it's always been in the 8th inning plus. But we know from watching the Braves and watching Snicker, he will continue to push the envelope with guys who do not perform. So with that being said, the Atlanta Braves bullpen by committee is what you can pretty much expect from here on out. Okay, so we're going to have to deal with that. We're going to lose some years off our life over the next couple of months. It's actually less than that. I guess it's about 7 weeks at this point. We've played 112 games. We have 50 to go. It is now a sprint. It is a sprint, and you cannot afford big losing streaks. So you want to get started off right. Drew Smyly against Sonny Gray. That is a tough pitching matchup. The Reds, the entire series, are going to give us 3. The good news is that we do not face Luis Castilla, who got bombed last night but had been pitching pretty well. So Sonny Gray, 4.44 ERA, 4-6 on the year. Don't let that fool you. He's a good pitcher. And so the Atlanta Braves are going to have to try. What they're going to have to do is something that's not a part of their DNA for the last few years because it hasn't been taught in their system, and that is to work the strikes, to work the count. Be okay with getting down to 2 strikes. That's how you get these starters out of the game, and the Reds bullpen has been infamously bad, and that's how you're going to beat the Reds in this series. Tomorrow, it's Miley versus Touki Toussaint. Once again, Miley's having a hell of a year. It's 9-4 with a 2.75 ERA. And the Thursday game, so the first 2 games are 7:20. The Thursday game is a little odd, but I think the reason why they're doing it is because they want Major League Baseball to showcase the Field of Dreams game that night. And so the Reds and Braves are going to play at 5:10 Eastern. Because when I look at the docket that day, that is the only game scheduled at 7 o'clock Eastern until 9:38 Eastern. So the Braves game will be getting over with about the time the Yankees White Sox takes place. For y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, they're going to recreate the Field of Dreams type of field. And the Yankees and White Sox are playing one game there Thursday night at 7:00 Eastern. I think that's when the broadcast is going to begin. First pitch will probably be a little later than that, but there's going to be corn in the outfield. It's a really, really neat setting. There's only a few thousand seats in the actual stadium, and should be a lot of fun. But back to what we talk about here, the Braves, they'll play at 5:10 Eastern that day. And so that'll be Mueller versus Gutierrez. Gutierrez can be gotten to, but he pitched pretty well against the Braves last time out. Mueller has pitched well. He just hasn't pitched deep, and that's concerning. Now, on the injury front, today, we are expected to get back Mr. Freddie Freeman in the starting lineup. So let's hope so. He came in the game late on Sunday, and hopefully he's feeling well enough. He's had a couple of days off now, and hopefully he is over his upper respiratory infection, and hopefully he's feeling well and can get out there and play. Now, whether or not it's going to take him a couple of days, who knows? He may not be feeling that great. At this point, knowing Freddie's going to tough it out, but we wish the best for Freddie, and hopefully he's back in today and feeling well. Today, we get back, or it's expected, Travis d'Arnaud. He had a walk-off hit in the AAA Stripers. I believe it was Sunday during the first game of their doubleheader. So d'Arnaud will be back. I expect him to be in the starting lineup. Ian Anderson. He is expected. I'm going to pinpoint it as probably 2 more starts. He pitched over the weekend, or he pitched on, I want to say on Thursday. And so he's expected to pitch probably again today. And then I would think he's going to get a total of 2 more starts, with one today, most likely, and then another one either Sunday or Monday. Enoa may be back after just 1 more start. He's got 1 more start in the minors set for this week, and then I expect that he will probably come back right after that. I'm expecting Enoa and Ian Anderson to be back within the calendar week or so. So you're going to add that to your pitching rotation. That's going to be like getting a couple of big trades as we push down the stretch. Freddie Freeman back in the lineup is obviously a huge plus. Travis d'Arnaud, I think that's been very overlooked. The fact that, and look, I think Vogt's done a great job, but it's time for Smith to go on about his way. Whether or not they can send him back down, whether I think he's definitely someone you want to hold on to into the minor system, but he might be out of options. If he's out of options, then it is what it is. The other series today, you've got the Phillies and Dodgers, and Aaron Nola's on the mound for the Phillies. You don't like that, but Max Scherzer goes to the hill for the Dodgers. So you do like that. You like your chances of possibly gaining a game today. As far as the Mets series, look, I just hope the Mets don't sweep the Nationals, because if they sweep the Nationals, it's going to be really difficult for the Mets. If the Mets sweep the Nationals, it's going to be very difficult for us to not lose ground on the Mets, because playing the Reds, you hope to win the series. Expecting a sweep at home is a little over the top. No matter what happens tonight, you want to win 2 of 3. But the Mets tonight, Cookie Carrasco at home against Espino. Espino's actually pitched pretty well, but you got to figure that the Mets are going to be ready to get up off the mat tonight. All right, tomorrow, the Phillies and Dodgers, it's David Price, but he's going to go up against Kyle Gibson. I think you got to say advantage Philadelphia. And with the Mets, it's Joe Ross versus Rich Hill. That's actually a puncher's chance for the Nationals. Joe Ross can pitch some phenomenal games. I know he's had some duds, but he can also pitch some phenomenal games. So it really depends on which Joe Ross actually shows up on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, as you look at that game, or those games, 12:10 Eastern's first pitch for the Nationals Mets, it's Fetty versus Stroman. Let's be honest, Stroman's going to win that. I would be shocked if Fetty goes out and outpitches Stroman. The only way the Nationals win that game is if the Mets bullpen implodes or Fetty goes out there and spins like the game of his life. He's 4-8 with a 5.15 ERA. You can't expect a lot from it. The Dodgers and Phillies, they have not announced the starters as of yet, but that game will be at 105. So both those games will be in the books, or should be in the books, by the time the Braves take first pitch at 5:10 on Thursday. So there you have Braves country today. 2 back of the Phillies, half a game back of the Mets. I will see you Friday to get ready for the weekend, as the Braves will be traveling to the Nationals. And so that's another reason why you don't want the Nationals getting swept, because you don't want them feeling like a young team that they're fighting for respect. Let them go out there and win 2 or 3 from the Mets, and everything. That'd be the perfect scenario. But at least get 1 W from the Mets. That way they don't come back home and feel like that they have to get off the schneid. We want to sneak into Washington, and we'll talk about that series as Charlie Morton will be going to the Hill on Friday. Have a great day, y'all. Go Braves, and we will see you Friday morning.
You're in Braves country.